All right, please go ahead now with your presentation.
Okay, sir. So first of all, good evening, everyone. Like I said, my name is David Coco. Um, so first of all, we were we were given a task. Our topic is startup pitch deck generator AI agents. Yeah, for group 15. So firstly, before we go into it, the very first thing we need to know is what is startup pitch deck, or what is a pitch deck. So based on what I could get, says sorry, I cannot share that. I don't know why that part is not coming up on the screen where the document where the definition of pitch deck is. It's only this part that can show. But I'll just go ahead and go through it. Yeah. So first of all, what is a pitch deck? A pitch deck is a short visual compelling presentation that explains a business idea, startup, product or company, and makes a case for why someone should invest in, partner with, or support it. In the startup ecosystem, a pitch deck is most commonly used when raising capital for investors, from investors rather. Its purpose is to persuade the audience to take the next step, such as investing, scheduling another meeting, or starting a partnership. Pitch decks are actually up to 15 slides and presented within 15 to 20 minutes. And we have, so for this next part where I have on my document, it says, think of it as answering a central question. Why should I believe this business can become valuable, and why should I put my money, resources, or time behind it? So, so it says a good pitch deck therefore connects problem first, solution second, market third, business model, traction, competitive advantage, financial potential, team, investment ask. The major components of pitch deck, we have the cover slide. We have the cover slide, which consists of the logo, short targets, the company name, short tagline, sorry, the company name, description, and all of it. Then we have the next component, which is the problem. This is one of the most important slides you need, which explains what problem exists, who experiences it, how frequent does it happen, how expensive and painful is it. So the next component says solution. The solution, for example, we have solving a problem, for example, an AI assistant platform that allows importance to request inspection, assign verified inspectors, upload inspection evidences. So, and we have the next component, we have products, which is how it works. This section shows the actual products. Then the next one, we have the market opportunity. We have the market opportunity. We have traction. We have business model, and so on and so forth. So proceeding to our agents we came up with. Proceeding to our agents we came up with. So we were given the topic startup pitch deck generator AI agents. So after we came together, we discussed and we deliberated, sharing our own ideas as a team. So we came up with this particular agent, which is Afri Pitch AI. Afri Pitch AI, West Africa VC Deck Strategist. So This is a West African startup pitch deck builder. Yeah, it's not just only for a particular country like Nigeria. So as the name implies, West Africa, which is all the countries in the West African. So moving forward, we have answering the key questions. These are our agents, and we are here to show how it works. Yeah. So first, we say the answering key questions about your startup, or load a West African sample business below. Afritech AI analyzes your inputs, applies local market text context, which is mobile money, informal distribution, FX dynamics, challenges, weakness, and constructs a full 15-slide investor deck. So a quick sample startup. The first one we can take, for instance, we have the first one that says, okay, for the group A, we have business identity and region. Since so we have to know, you have to impute the answers to all the questions that's been given here before it can proceed. So the first one, we have the startup name, which we took from the quick sample startups here. So we have the startup name, which is Sabi Logistics. The second one line value proposition. So the input question there, answer there is digital freight matching and instant invoice financing for informal haulage, I think, operators, sorry, in West Africa. Yes. So the third one there, we have the primary launch country, which is Nigeria, which is Nigeria. The fourth one, we have the industry sector, which is logistics and fintech. So the next one, we have targets, the fifth one, sorry, we have the target West African markets. It says select applicable. So we clicked, okay, we clicked Nigeria, Ghana, Benin, and Togo. So we move on to the next one where it says current startup stage. So we move to the next slide, which is the group B, where it says problem and solution. So before we arrived at this point, we gave it a prompt. We use the Google AI Studio to generate this agent. So we gave it a prompt whereby we asked it to act as an agent for a startup pitch deck. So we gave it a prompt, and that's how we arrived here. So for the group B, we said problem and solution. So the question is, what acute problem are you solving? The second question is, who experiences this problem? You impute your answer. The third question is, how are people solving it currently? The fourth question is, why are existing solutions inadequate? The fifth one is, what is your solution? The sixth is, what makes your solution uniquely differentiated? So we move, once you filled in all of those, giving the responses to all of those questions, we move to the next one that says target customers and pricing. So it says identify customer profile, estimated term size, and payment willingness. So for the very first one, we have primary customer type. The second one says ideal customer profile, which is ICP. The third one, estimated potential customer counts. And the fourth one, how much does a customer pay? The fifth one, payment frequency. So we move on to the next slide, which talks about the business model and economies, how your startup monetizes, pricing mechanics, and key cost drivers. So the questions there is, how does a startup make money, which is a very important question. The revenue streams, pricing details, major cost, expected gross margin. So all of those questions, you have to impute the answers to them. Then you proceed to the next, that says commercial tracking and validation. It says show current progress, revenue, users, and waitlist validation. So on our slide there, it says, do you currently have active paying customers or users? So the very first question, so when you're being asked that question, you have to click yes. You have to click on the box there and to show the good tick, indicating that yes, you have. So the next question is customers and user accounts, current monthly revenue, monthly growth rates, strategic partnership, pilot wait list, or early validation milestone. So we move on to the next group, which is group F, that says competitive landscape. Competitive landscape, which is existing options, direct competitors, and why customers choose you. So the very first question there, it says know your competitors, existing alternatives, why would customers choose you instead, unfair advantage in bracket. So we move to the next slide, where it says founders and capability, finding team background, relevant West Africa operator experiences. So for number one, it says founders and roles. The second one says relevant domain experience. The third one, why is this team uniquely positioned to win? In bracket, we have founder market fits. So we move to the next group, which is group H, funding ask and runway. Funding ask and runway, which is the capital requirements, target currency, funding stage, and correlation and allocation rather, sorry, and allocation. So this tells us how much money you would want to raise, the currency, the funding stage, the runway months expected, the primary use of funds. So we have for the currency, we have different currencies there. You can see the USD, the Naira currency, the Ghana cedis, we have the Euro, and we have the CFA, and XOF, and so on. So we move to the next one. So before all of this, you've already imputed how much money you want to raise. You've imputed the funding stage, you've imputed the runway months expected, you've imputed the primary use of funds. Yeah, as you can see here on our slides. So we now proceed to generate the pitch deck. You can see on my screen, it says generate pitch deck now. So I click on it, and it's analyzing. Let's wait for it a little. Okay. So let's just give it a little time. It's still loading. So it can take us to our different our different slides. Personal. Okay. Don't know, probably the network. Okay. So after the analyzing, it came out with the slide overview. So slide one for Sabi Logistic powering West Africa freight backbone. So it says introduce company name, core value proposition, and operating context. So for the first slide, it said unlocking 4.3 billion in West Africa freight through digital matching and instant working capital. Key investor arguments. So it's been listed below. We move to the next one. Recommended slide graphics. Okay. The next one says investor takeaway. So we move to our next slide. It's not coming up. Sorry, still check. Okay. So I think for this one, he gave us only one slide for it. So now we move to the VC readiness for Sabi Logistics. So this is the stage 6 investor readiness scorecard and Q&A audits. So overall readiness score, we have 86 out of 100, which is cool. The detailed criteria breakdown, we have the problem severity, we have the market opportunity, we have the competition weights, we have the go-to-market strategy, team capability, storytelling and pitch, solution strengths, business model, traction and validation, financial potential, defensibility. So all of these are for the VC readiness, which is the venture capital readiness. And we still have the VC stimulator. It says pitch practice for Sabi Logistics. Where it says simulate live venture capital question and answer, and authentic West Africa investor personas receive immediate feedback on every response. If you can see on our slides, which we currently have here. So the first one is for Tunde Balogo, managing partner, Lagos Tech Venture. The second persona here, we have Aisato Diallo, and we have Kwame Mensah. So that is that for the VC simulator. So we can still go back and let's do for AgriPay, because we have 3 of it here. 3 quick sample startups. We have 3 here. So let's check for AgriPay Ivory Coast. So for AgriPay, the group A, we have the business identity and region. So the startup name, like we said, AgriPay Francophone. So one line value proposition, direct mobile money payout and EU compliance, EUDRO deforestation tracking for cocoa and cashew farmers in West Africa. Yeah. So primary launch country, we have we have Ghana, Ivory Coast, Senegal, Burkina Faso. Industry sector, agri-tech and fintech. So the number six is current startup stage. As you can see here, we have the MVP, which is the minimum viable products. So we move on to the next slide, which is the group B, the problem and solution. So for this one, the question says, what acute problem are you solving? So our response here says cocoa and cashew buying agents carrying large cash bundles to remote farms, causing high theft risk, while global buyers face EU EUDR anti-deforestation penalties without farm-level digital traceability. So the next question says, who experiences this problem? So our response here is 5 million 5 million smallholder cocoa and cashew farmers and international agribusiness exporters in Francophone West Africa. So now the number three question here, we have, how are people solving it currently? So our response here, physical cash bags transported by field agents, manual paper logbooks for farm location tracking. So the fourth question here says, why are existing solutions inadequate? So our response was over $12 million lost annually for field cash robbery, 25% administrative error rates. The fifth question is, what is your solution? So our response is an offline first Android terminal and USSD platform, enabling instant wave mobile and instant wave and MTN mobile money bulk payouts and Polygon farm mapping. So we have the sixth question that says, what makes your solution uniquely differentiated? So we have our response there. So we move on to group C of it, target customers and pricing, primary customer type, international commodity, exporters, and so on. The second question there is ideal custom profile, which is the ICP, estimated potential customers count for the third question. The fourth one is, how much does the customer pay, and so on and so forth. So basically, the same way we did for the first one, which is Sabi Logistics, the same question that was being asked for Sabi Logistics is the same question that is being asked for AgriPay Francophone. So we imputed the answers to it, and we imputed the answers to it, and moving on. Okay, let's move on. Group D, it has the business model and economics, how your startup monetize, pricing mechanics and key drivers, and so on and so forth. So let's move on. It's the same question but different answers for the first one we tried and this second one now. So let's move on to generating the pitch deck. So after we go to group H, funding, asking and runway, um, capital requirement, target currency, funding stage and allocation. So it asks all of the necessary questions, and we went further to generate pitch deck now. Good. And so for this one we have 15 slides of it, unlike the very first one that came out as a single slide of it. So slide overview, for the
All
very
right.
first one.
Thank you, David Coco. Thank you.
Okay.
This is your slide. I can see that we can have a full screen presenter. We can export the deck. If you export the deck, where does it go to?
It takes you to export pitch deck and
Nice.
strategic report, whereby you can save and print as PDF, copy markdown outline, download deck data as JSON in JSON formats, copy executive summary. So that's where the exports takes us to.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So please, if you're on YouTube, just hold